What is going on, everyone? This is Eric Haber. Once again, we are going to be doing our analysis of all of the Crown teams. And just for those of you that have not uh, seen these before, most of you have from this team. Again, I used to coach from seventh grade right through 12th grade, back when my son was old enough to do so. And we had a lot of success. And Chris was my was our skills trainer, and I decided I wanted to help him throughout the years. And the best way that I could help him, I believe, was doing these videos, setting everybody up with Huddle, and just try to educate him, other coaches and players and parents on how to play efficient basketball and what types of offense you're supposed to run, what type of defense you're supposed to run, and to do so from a statistical perspective. Um, this is what I did with my teams. We took things that we learned from the NBA and from colleges with respect to what types of shots are good shots. We did regression analysis. I compared it to all the other teams throughout throughout the community, and I think that we educated a lot of people with respect to how basketball is supposed to be played on this particular level. People in the NBA, they figured this out a long time ago, and the colleges have started to figure it out as well. But very few high schools have adapted this type of approach to analysis, and I think it's important for this to trickle down all the way down to AAU and into high school. So, in any case, with that as background, what we're going to be doing this year again is we're going to make all these games, or at least as many as we can, available on Huddle for you guys to watch. And we'll all be watching them with different purposes. As at the younger team level, it's going to be a lot to, I don't know, just to have some fun and watch the highlights and things like that. As you get into the older groups, you might be thinking more about recruiting and finding highlight reels and things like that. That to me is of very little interest, but Huddle it does provide plenty of opportunity for you to do that, and we'll do a tutorial on how to do that later on in the season. Um, but what I like to do is get all these games uploaded, get them broken down, and then report back on how you guys are playing. And we'll call out teams in general, we'll call out individuals in general. And the idea is for coaches and players and parents to know what's going on, so that you can practice better, do skills training better, and just learn a little bit more about basketball and the way it's really supposed to be played. Okay, first of all, everybody should already be set up with Huddle. If you're not, like I see Lorenzo here, he's the only one that's still pending invite. Check your email and accept the email, and you should be on here. If you're not, reach out to me and let me know, and we'll get you guys all set up. All right, so let's just get started, and we'll go over what we need to accomplish as a team and what we need to accomplish as individuals. And we're going to try to do these videos once a week after each of your tournament sessions, and we're going to catch up by dealing with the tournaments from last week, which were in New York, and also this past weekend, which were in Boston. All right, so let's just start. Let's just start with the all the way back to this game against the Edge, and let's remind ourselves of what we're looking for as a team as far as statistics go. There are three main team statistics that we have to keep an eye on, and these numbers are specific to what I believe is required for your skill level, well, for your age group to succeed, to win games at the level that Chris is putting you in. Okay. Um, Now, again, this has been all worked out. I've done so much analysis on this, and these are the numbers you're going to be looking for as a team. First of all, this effective field goal percentage. We want that for your level at 55% or higher. Um, those are the types of numbers that simply win games at this level. Now, effective field goal percentage, again, is not just regular field goal percentage, because you have to account for the fact that threes are worth 1.5 times as much. So effective field goal percentage is basically your regular field goal percentage plus a 1.5 adjustment for threes. But 55% is what you guys need for effective field goal percentage. Turnover rate, we want that below 15%. And offensive rebound percentage, we want that above, well, we'd like it above 40, but really above 30%. So for each game, those are your individual goals. And if you do that over the course of the season, then you're really killing it. So as you'll see in this first game where we did win by a fortune, not surprisingly, you did have a good effective field goal percentage of 57%, 12% well below the required 15% turnover ratio, and you got every rebound. So this was obviously what it's going to look like against a team where you win by 50 points. Next thing you want to look at for each of these games is the shot chart. Now, you guys have been with me for a long time. You guys should know what I'm looking for here, but just in case you don't, the types of shots that we need are nothing but layups and threes, okay? Anything from around here is really good. Anything from over here is really good. All these other spots are not good, okay? And what you need to be able to accomplish is to shoot less than 10% of your shots from these bad areas, okay? I'd love it for you to have perfect shot charts. And I think you had maybe one game all of last season with a perfect shot chart. That is something you can strive for. Nothing but here and here. And the reason, very simply, again, is that these shots are going to be worth 3 points. You're not going to make these significantly more. So you may as well, if you're going to shoot from here anyway, may as well take these open threes. Okay. It's also more likely you're not going to be guarded out here than inside as well. So that's another thing. So this is what we're looking for. And for this particular game, as you'll see, it's exactly what we want. Now, if you wanted to, you can click through here. This is actually kind of fun. You can click through here and see all of like the bad twos. So let's just see what this looks like. Right? So that means it's like contested. You know, maybe that wasn't as bad as some of the others I've seen. But that's what's kind of cool about Huddle is you could just literally click through it and see, see all of these shots actually. All right, let's take a look at some individuals. So the individuals from this game, and here's other things we're going to look for. We'll get to the individual team statistics in a minute. But you'll see everybody pretty much had a good game. Brandon, 4 for 5 from 3, excellent. We'll talk about this later, but when I see you, hopefully I'll see you one of these days. I knew that this would happen, but finally, after 3 years of me tracking this for you, you finally got that balance down with your feet. I don't know if you remember this, John or Brandon, that for a year and a half, maybe 2 years, your legs were splitting as you took your shots. And we can go back to previous seasons to compare. And now that you've gotten either stronger or you've committed to this, you don't spread your feet as much. So there's more balance, and you could just completely tell the difference in your shot. So obviously, super duper game. I expect more of this from you during the season. Brandon, 2 for 3 from 3. Isaiah, 2 for 6 from 3. Justin, only 1 for 5 from 3. So again, not your best day, but again, over the course of the season, we expect your, percentages to reflect, 3 years worth of percentages. So I'm not too worried about this. As far as 2-point stuff, I mean, everybody pretty much did well this game. It's not hard to do well when you're, playing a team like this. But so overall, obviously very, very good performance. All right, let's go back to the next game from that tournament, which was the Patient Grind. Again, not a very good opponent, but let's take a look. So effective field goal percentage was a little light, 54.6%. And again, I want to be greedy. I know what you're saying. Well, it's close enough. Yeah, okay. So against a weak team, why not make it 58%? So anyway, a little light. And so we're going to look and see what that might have been. Turnover rate, 18.5, much too high. Okay, that's something that you really have to keep below 15%, because that type of thing, if you end up playing some of these good teams, which we're going to get to in a few minutes, that's going to kill you. Offensive rebound percentage, again, you got almost all the rebounds, and it's kind of hard to lose when you're getting all the rebounds. The only way you had a chance to lose is by giving away too many turnovers, and that's why you only won by 18 points, I guess. Let's take a look at the shot chart from, is it Edge? No, Patient Guard. So this one is not quite as good because you do have one, two, three, five bad twos. So again, we want to keep that below 10%. So it's actually not bad, but again, against a team like this, you can be greedier. You can really make sure you either attack the rim or take these open threes. So not bad, but not perfect. We'll take a look at the individual stats for this game. Okay, Brandon, again, very nice, 2 for 4 from three. Justin, 3 for 7. See, this is fine. This is, well, I'll take, 3 out of 7 is perfect. Brandon V, 1 for 1. So spins with 2 for 3. That's obviously it's good. Isaiah, okay, so you were 1 for 6 from the last game or something, 2 for 6, 1 for 4. Are you the type of person we want shooting threes? I actually don't know. I don't know you yet. Okay. Over the course of time, we'll be able to figure that out. But we'll leave that to the coaches to figure this out. I mean, where are the best threes coming from this team? Is it coming from the Brandons and Justin? Should it be coming from Isaiah? Should it be coming from Lorenzo? You know what I mean? You have to think about this as coaches. What else? Again, nothing really to report too much in this game. Look at this, Brandon V with 11 defensive rebounds. That's something we like to see from a guard. I really like that a lot. So yeah, let's move on. Now we're out of that tournament, and now we're at the tournament this past weekend. So let's start with the first game that we played, which was Expressions EYBL, and this happens sometimes. You come off a tournament where you played some weak teams, and then you get thrown right into the mix against a tough team, and you regress. But this is no good. Okay, 29.5% effective field goal percentage is just not beating anybody. Much less Expressions Elite. Turnover rate, 26%, way over. I mean, an offensive rebound percentage is not bad. So that's the one thing is you didn't get killed on the glass, but these numbers are really, really bad. Right. So we're going to get into the shot chart, but this 26% turnover rate, you just can't win like that. So part of it, yeah, is they play tougher defense because they're a better team. But there's just no team that's supposed to be able to generate 26% turnover rate against a good team, which you guys are. So this is something you guys have to address. All right, let's look at the shot chart from this game. Oops. Shot chart from Expressions. Okay, so the good news is that you did only take 2, 5, 6 bad twos, but again, that's too many. And the other thing is this 4 for 15 at the rim. That's not good. So you have to take a look at all those non-finishes. And again, you can click through here. You didn't do particularly well from 3, but we'll get into that. The fact that you took these bad twos, I'm not too thrilled with. So again, check this out. So you could click into these misses from at the rim, and you can see what all these look like. Okay, so that might not be too bad. You just got swatted off the glass. But what about the next one? That's the same one. And then you could just check this one as well. That's tough, So coaches can analyze these and say which of these types of shots, which of these types of finishes need to be worked on, or whatever. All right, let's look at some individuals in this game. Let's take a look and see who the criminals were with respect to turnovers and all that stuff. All right, let's see. All right. First of all, as far as stats go, really nobody made anything. There's Isaiah, another 6 threes. So 6 threes attempted. Do we want that? I don't know. Brandon, 2 for 10, including, wow, these are all from 2. So you were trying to take it to the trees, but is that the best idea? 5 turnovers from Brandon V, not great. 4 turnovers from Justin. You know what? Just for fun, this is what we could do. You click through on Justin's turnovers, and believe me, I'm going to call everybody out during the season at some point. Let's take a look at all Justin's turnovers. All right, does Justin deserve that one? I can see. Hmm. I don't know about that one. Ooh, they're not very nice. They punished Justin on that pass. All right, let's see. All right, that's definitely Justin's, and that's definitely Justin's. But I think they were unkind to you on a couple of them. But let's take you. Want to take a couple of Brandons? Listen, we all have to embrace this. Okay, Brandon V. We all have to embrace this, and during the season, everybody gets called out. So let's see, Brandon. Nope, that's no good. Let's see. Yeah, that's not great. Um, it looks like you guys got intimidated just a little bit. Yeah, that swipe from behind there. So again, coaches and players, you can look through this and stepped on the line, didn't he? Ooh, good call by the ref. How do you see that? That was pretty good. All right. So listen, tough team. Are you going to be able to beat this team in the future? I don't know. That's a lot of points to overcome, but certainly starts with not turning the ball over 20, however many times you turn it over. All right. BABC, another team that's not bad. Take a look at this game. Not UA Rise. We'll get to that one. That one was an interesting one. All right, so BABC again, 53.8% is not bad, but you want it a little higher. And again, this 22% turnover rate is not going to fly. It just isn't. You just and think about it mathematically. I mean, like the problem with turning the ball over is you don't get to shoot. So if you're in a contest to score points against another team, which is really all basketball is, and one team gets more shots at it than you do, I mean, it's already hard enough to make them, but to not get as many as the other team is very, very difficult. So 22% turnover rate, no good. And this one, you didn't get the rebounds that you needed. So uh, the offense wasn't that bad, but these turnovers, again, you got to get a handle on these. Let's take a look at the shot chart. It's BABC. 3, 5, 6 bad twos. That's too many. More than that. Because even though you made these, this is not a good habit to get into, shooting it from over here. So again, same story as before. I continue to pound on you guys. If you're going to break the 3-point arc and get to the rim, get all the way to the rim. Okay. Otherwise, you may as well just take it from here. All right, let's look at the box score in this game. See who did decently. I don't know where everybody went here. We're missing some players. I don't know, maybe. Would Lorenzo not play in this game? I'm not sure. Again, sometimes we miss some players. We miss some. Let's just see something real quick. We could tell this in a minute, but you guys only have 6 for this game? I don't know. Maybe it's possible. Again, I can only input what I see. Let's take a look at this real quick. Let's pull this up. Let's go to. Hang on. Let's just go to the straight video so we can see this. Against BABC. Let's take a look and see who was. No, he was playing. Oh, I know what happened. Oh, there you go. All right, so we got to talk about this for a minute. So when you play 2 guys with the same uniform, with the same uniform number, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do for you guys as far as getting these statistics right. Okay? It's just not going to happen. right? I'm not going to go in manually and change these things. So you've got to get organized with respect to your uniforms, right? This is not going to be good for recruiting. It's not going to be good for statistics, and it's not going to be good for me. I've been telling you guys for 3 years, um, and I'm talking to coaches now. Okay, but even players, you can't have this. You're a top level AAU team. You can't be walking around with three guys like you're a CYO. Is that what it is? CYO team with five number fours. Okay, it's just not going to work, and I'm not going to spend the time individually changing all these tags. Okay, it's not going to happen. So as a result, all these statistics are wrong. Not all of them, but now you have um, Lorenzo sharing stats with spins, and it's not working. So I'm not even going to go through, and we could, but it's useless. Let's just see. I mean, what can we look at here? Well, Brandon was three for. Let's just see the box score. Yeah, Brandon was 0 for 3 from 3 in this game. Not great, obviously. Malik, if this was in fact Malik, who knows? But 4 for 5 from 3. Well, we can click through and see. Yeah, okay, looks good. There's only one guy with that number. Now, what we can do is we can look at the turnovers, right? So who are the turnover represent? Oh, once again, 6 turnovers for Brandon V. So we're gonna have to deal with this. And 4 for spins. I know where these spins ones comes from. Were these overpasses? Well, let's check. Let's check again Brandon's turnovers. And again, Brandon, I'm not just not picking on you, but maybe I'm picking on you. I tell you. Let's see. You know, you got to embrace it. Everybody turns it over. You can't just put your head in the sand and pretend it didn't happen. You have to watch them and see which of these are because, listen, Brandon, you're not huge, right? But which of these turnovers are because you're not huge and which of them were mental errors? You know, you should be able to make that pass, maybe. Maybe some of them you can't, but some of them you can, right? Could that have been a bounce pass, for example? Let's see. Yeah. So, um, and listen, it wouldn't be a day without looking at some of Spins' turnovers. So let's just see. All right. Let's see if they're all spins or did Lorenzo get some of these? Let's see. Oh, travel. You're not supposed to travel. That we can't have. Yeah, okay. Well, what is that? Another travel? How can you be traveling? Whoa. All right. Not the best, Mr. Spinoza. All right. Um, all right, let's move on to the last game, and that's going to be UA Rise. And these are always fun. These Sunday games that don't mean anything from a standings perspective, where people just are playing their last game and then kind of getting out of Dodge. Those games are always real clown fiestas where nobody plays defense at all. So those are kind of fun to watch. But let's see stats from UA Rise. There you go, 62% effective field goal percentage. I'm actually not surprised. All right, I want to nitpick a little bit because once again, you have 20% turnover ratio, which is just not going to work long term. Uh, it's not going to work when you don't have the 62% field goal percentage. Okay, does that make sense? 23% offensive rebounding percentage, not great. You want that more like 30. But again, this was kind of a fun scrimmage to watch. Let's take a look at the shot chart. Okay, this stinks. Okay, now this is a really good illustration of what I'm talking about, right? You had a 62% effective field goal percentage, which is amazing. Imagine what it had been, what it would have been if these bad twos were out of here. 0 for 1, 0 for 2, 0 for 3, 0 for 4. Okay? These have to be trashed. And I've been saying this for years. Some coaches embrace it, some kind of like nod at me, and then in the heat of the game, they forget, you know. Some players nod at me, and then at the heat of the in the heat of the game, forget. Trust me, these shots stink. Uh, anyway, let's take a look at the individuals in this game. We had Brandon 4 for 7 from three. Very nice. Brandon, not the best. Justin 3 for 6. Isaiah, another 7 threes. So he's been the highest volume 3-point shooter on the team so far. Do we want that? Maybe. 21 points total. Nice game. All right. So now we're going to do, which is kind of fun at the end of each tournament, is I want to look at the season statistics, both from a team perspective and from an individual perspective. So from a team perspective, what we can do is we'll look at the whole thing, whole season, and you'll see that effective field goal percentage is 52%. We'd like it above 55. Okay. Turnover rate is 20. That's got to come down. Offensive rebound percentage is pretty good, but these numbers, specifically the turnover rate, has got to be adjusted. Let's look at the shot chart for the season. Okay. Shot chart for the season. Again, we want to get rid of these. So right now we have 3, 4, 12, 16, 18, 21, 26 bad twos. It's right on that borderline of 10%. I would like to get it well under 10% for the season. Now, fun part, which is what I guess what everybody is looking for, is individual statistics. So this is what I want you guys to be trying to do as individuals. Okay. So what you want to be able to do is yourself have the effective field goal percentage of, what we're looking for as a team, that being 55%. Now, there are two ways that you can do that. It's going to be a combination of things, but how do you get a 55% effective field goal percentage as a player? Well, you can either shoot more than 55% from two, right? That makes sense. Or you can shoot 38% from three. Why? Because 38%, again, because it's worth 1.5 times the amount of points, the field goal percentage is worth 1.5 times. So 38 times 1.5 is about 55%. So if you can make either 55% from two or 38% from three, then you're contributing. Okay. Now, there are players that can do both over the course of the season. Usually you get one, maybe two players on a team that can do that. That's very, very difficult to be proficient from both attacking the rim and from three. But those are the real super efficient players that you really want. But as an individual, these are things you can look at. Like, for example, from two, and you can just sort from here. For the season, only 3 of you are shooting more than 55% from two. That would be Isaiah, excellent. Justin, excellent. And Brandon, getting to the rim pretty nicely. From three, who is shooting more than 38% from three? Well, Brandon, awesome start. Okay. Justin, right there. Spins, I know that you shouldn't be shooting these. Now, in addition to these guys, there's nobody really that's shooting more than 38% from three, except for Malik. But Malik's only had 5 samples. So, and then again, we don't even know if these numbers were 100% accurate anyway. So there's that. The one thing I would concern myself with right now, it's not really concern, but I want to think about this for a second from Isaiah's perspective. So Isaiah is 63% from two when he attacks the rim and only 32% from three. And he's shooting more threes than anybody else on the team right now. I just throw that out there to you. But aside from that, Everybody looks to be doing okay. I'm very concerned about the turnovers, and unfortunately, the way it is with you guys not practicing, that's not going to get any better, uh, really, until you guys practice. I mean, it could, but it's at least something that coaches can be aware of, and you guys can coach to that on the court, even though you don't have too much time to go over stuff before games. But this is cohesiveness. Now, again, it's part just individual skills, but a lot of the turnovers is really comes from lack of cohesion. It's certainly nothing to do with scheme, although it's sort of something to do with scheme because you're not practicing this much. But the turnover rate's gotta be addressed. Okay. All right, that's pretty much it. Make sure that Lorenzo, you sign up for Huddle, and make sure that you follow me on YouTube to get notified when more of these videos come out. And that will do it.